on Thursday. I'm going to give you 5 takeaways from that first run-through. Second, we got some new Mark Andrews trade rumors that we've got to discuss on the show. And coming up last, we have our live Ravens mailbag to get to. Your questions, my answers, all live right here on the Ravens Rundown. Thank you so much for every single one of you guys for being here on this fine Tuesday evening, a little bit over halfway through the month of June. That means we're only, 2.5 months out for the start of the NFL season. Get me there as quickly as possible. Let's throw it back to minicamp, though, okay? It started today, and I want to know which player you are most excited to see at Ravens minicamp. Which guy are you most expectant of? Which guy are you most excited to see out there on the practice field, whether it's a rookie, whether it's Lamar Jackson again, whether it's a free agent that the Baltimore Ravens signed, whether it's someone they traded for? Who is it? You let me know down there in the comment section. Me personally, I'm really excited to see some Mike Green. I'm going to turn on my fan for just a second because I'm already getting a little hot. But number 45, the second-round selection, edge rusher, man, I am so pumped to see him out there at practice. That's probably my number one. Malachi Starks is up there. The more DeAndre Hopkins content I get, the better I feel. And as always, I'm really excited to see some Lamar Jackson out there at minicamp playing what he does best at that quarterback position. We got Adam saying in order to win the Super Bowl, the pass rush needs to pressure the quarterback more per game, and secondary needs to cause more turnovers. I could not agree. Lamar just said in the press conference, go get Jair Alexander. I saw that, Kyler. We are going to talk about it. Jack, editorial decision. Do we want to lead the takeaways with that? Yeah, I'll just do it. You think it's fine to do it tomorrow as a full video? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about, sorry guys, you guys are seeing a little bit into the weeds. This happened like right when we pressed live. I'm thinking about maybe putting this out tomorrow and doing something very quick on that after to put out tonight. Thoughts on that? I think that might be something that's interesting. We'll figure it out. All right. Sorry for that, you guys. You guys got to see a little bit behind the scenes on producer-host work. Kyla Richards says, Lamar just said in the press conference, go get Jair. Ty Man's here saying, let's go. Mike Nintendo Master said, I will not be able to make it today. That's okay, Mike. Thanks for letting me know. Papa Shook said, what up, Joey? Nathan McShane said, I'm excited for Keaton Mitchell. Kyler's excited for Lamar. Adam says, what up, what up? Ty Man saying, what up? Christian Coveney says, Adafe Owe or Namdi Metabike. Christian, that is a great, great answer, my friend. Papa says, I'm stoked to see Keaton Mitchell as well. Why is Mike Green still not signed the rookie deal, says Abdi. I don't know. There haven't really been any specifics on that, but I will give you a little bit of reassurance of still are some rookies that have yet to sign their rookie deals yet. It's going to be all okay. We got Papa Shook saying, everyone liked the vid. And sub to the channel if you haven't already. Hashtag Ravens Rundown. Papa Shook being our executive producer in the chat. My dog. How's your day going? Go Ravens. I had a dream we won the Super Bowl. Not one, but 3 in a row. That was my dream. But have a good day, man. Go Ravens. Ravens, bro. That's a pretty dang good dream right there. LFG says, Moggs, if you guys got any questions for me, make sure you can get on the show by using hashtag Ravens in the chat or super chatting to get on today's Q&A. Ask any question you want. Use hashtag Ravens in the question itself, and we'll be able to pull it up on our software, get it up on screen, get it up on the show, and you'll be able to see it answered live right here in segment 3. With the added muscle mass, do you think Adafe will lose any of explosiveness or no? Christian, that is a great example of a great question. All you got to do is use hashtag Ravens in it. So ask that question again, copy, paste it, throw hashtag Ravens in there with it, and we'll be able to pull it up. Jack, since we're doing that after, we can kind of speed through and just kind of get these out or get these done, and that way we got a good time. Yeah. Perfect. Don't jinx it. If you are a Ravens fan before Lamar Jackson, okay, I want to hear from you guys. Like today's video if that's the case. And if it's not, still like it. But I want to know how many of you guys were Ravens fans before Lamar. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be a Ravens fan after Lamar. A lot of you guys are a younger audience, and Lamar Jackson's really all you've known with the Baltimore Ravens for the past 7 seasons. So it's not a bad thing at all. But I'm just curious on how much of this fan base comes from pre-Lamar Jackson era in Baltimore. And show me by hitting that like button. Hashtag Ravens, there's still a possibility of trading Mark Andrews, says Kyler Richards. Great question. I'm actually going to talk about that in segment 2, so make sure you stay tuned. That's going to be the longest answer you get to that question. I'll answer a little bit shorter in segment 3, but wonderful question right there. I think there's a chance, but I don't think it'll happen until the deadline if it does. But great question. With our weapons, do you think it'll be run heavy, pass heavy, or somewhere in the middle? Probably still leaning towards more run heavy. I actually, somewhere in the, it's hard. I'd probably say they're always going to run first. That's always going to be their identity. And when you got Derrick Henry, that can be your identity. So that's kind of my thoughts with that situation. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I sit. Make sure you keep getting those questions in. Mogg says since 96 and keep liking today's video. We're going to jump into our first video right now. And we're going to get that going for all of you guys right here. It's my 5 takeaways for the first day of mandatory minicamp. Make sure to stick around for that. And it's going to be a good one. Going to be a good day. Going to be great 3 segments. Starting off with mandatory minicamp takeaways. Second up, we're talking Mark Andrews, talking trade rumors. And then third and last, we got our Ravens rundown mailbag to get to. Christian, another great question, but another time you got to use hashtag Ravens. That way you can get on the show and you get your question on the show, okay? So do what Papa Shook did, do what Kyler Richards did, and get those hashtag Ravens in there. Okay, guys, we're going to get it started. Jack's ready. I'm ready. Minicamp takeaways coming to you right now. Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, and we've got some football to talk about. And I'm going to take as much advantage of this as I can for the next couple of days. Because as we know, after mandatory minicamp is over on Thursday, there will be no more football to talk about for about a little bit over a month. Because we are currently in the middle of Baltimore Ravens mandatory minicamp. It is June 17th. To June 19th, meaning Tuesday to Thursday. Then after that, they will take a pretty hefty break, and you won't get any more Ravens football back until about late July when they're starting up training camp. So let's talk about it. 5 takeaways from what happened on Tuesday. Before that, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We are currently in a heated race to 35,000 subs with Mavericks today. Great news. We finally beat them. We were trailing them for like a good bit, and we have officially passed them, but we're still on the race to 35K, and they got the NBA draft coming up. Cooper Flagg's about to be in Dallas. That channel's about to boom. I need you guys to boom before that, okay? Keep proving to everybody here at Chat Sports, this channel has the best fan base of them all. Number 1 for minicamp takeaways, Lamar Jackson was in attendance. Now, I wasn't necessarily surprised by this, and you might be asking me, Joey, why is this even important? Well, I thought that there maybe was a chance that he'd miss because of the contract situation that's going on with him right now. Now, he was asked about it when he spoke to the media after, and he didn't have much to say about it at all. Said he doesn't want to talk about the contract situation, but he might not want to talk about it, but people are talking about it, like Jeremy Fowler, who said just the other day the sense here around the league is that Baltimore could follow the blueprint that Buffalo put together back in March when they extended Josh Allen, even though he had multiple years left on his contract. The feeling is get ahead of that huge quarterback market money, and 3 or 4 years from now, just pay your guy now when he's got multiple years left on his current deal. And what this shows, Lamar Jackson still being in attendance, even though Eric DeCosta has even reported they're in the very early stages of talking his contract. What that shows is they're in talks, they're discussing this, but like it's not dire. It's not going to hold out status. which I think is a great thing for Lamar, and I think it's a great thing for this team in general. And let's just be real. The more practices that Lamar Jackson is at, the better for him, the better for this team, the better for all the new weapons, talking DeAndre Hopkins. Like, the better it is for everybody when Lamar Jackson's there. Sure, if he missed these 3 days, would that affect that much come December, come January, come playoff time? No, not really. But that still doesn't mean that these times aren't crucial for, kind of getting back into the swing of things. I need you guys to predict Lamar's stat line for 2025 for me in the comment section down below. What I want from you guys is completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, interceptions. Let me know in those comments right now. Second takeaway, Bo Braid and Awuzie were back. Both of those players suffered injuries last week during Ravens OTAs. It was a really long couple of weeks of Ravens OTA periods, and this came from Jonas Schaefer on June 10th saying, don't see Ravens DBs, Bo Braid or Chidobe Awuzie at today's OTAs. Braid was helped off the field Monday after collision, while Awuzie stepped away from action late in the practice to have his foot retaped. Seemed like a minor foot/ankle injury. And I'm going to be real with you guys. These DBs need as much practice as possible, okay? And I'm not saying because Chidobe is bad. I'm not saying because Bo Braid is bad. But I'm just saying because right now, we need them to be at their absolute best. Chidobe Awuzie, I think, is really, really competing for that cornerback 2 spot behind Nate Wiggins, if you're talking outside corners. And Bo Braid has a chance to step up and be somebody in this defense, in that safety room, kind of like an Ardarius Washington replacement. Okay? And so the fact that both of those guys are here at mandatory minicamp, I think is positive for them and positive for this defense. There's going to be a lot of competition in those rooms. And at the end of the day, I want the best corners and the best safeties to be the ones that win out there. You're going to get a better look at who's the best when they're at practices and when they're at these minicamp days. Takeaway number 3. The Ravens were hosting multiple tryouts. Not just 1, not just 2, but 3. And not just offense, not just defense, but special teams as well. There were 3 guys going through minicamp tryouts: Antonio Hamilton Sr., Ramel Keaton, and Matt Hack. 3 guys who play 3 very different positions. Antonio Hamilton Sr. is a cornerback. He's a little bit older, 32 years old, played sparingly in 2024. But I think they're saying, look, we could use a little bit more depth in this cornerback rotation and see if we can get an older veteran guy in here, see if he can compete. For Ramel Keaton, I'm very, very familiar with Ramel Keaton. He was a wide receiver for 3 years when I was at the University of Tennessee. Big frame, 6'3", 197, skinny body, can make some really good catches, doesn't have a great run after the catch ability with him. I don't think he's going to threaten for anything with this tryout. I was never that impressed. And then this one surprised me. Matt Hack, who went in as a tryout for that punter role, which is a little bit surprising given the fact that Jordan Stout, I feel like that's been his position ever since he's been with this team, and nobody's really even threatened it. I don't think Hack is necessarily threatening it, but it's definitely something to note that they're, trying out punters. Maybe you need more punter depth. I don't know. I'm not the special teams coordinator. Be honest for me. Do any of these guys make the 90-man roster? That might seem a little mean. I get it, but you let me know in the comment section down below by giving me a yes or a no. Coming up, I got 2 more minicamp takeaways to get to. These ones are good. Make sure you stay on this video. Check out what I got for you. But right now, I got for you something even better than that. An awesome deal with our friends at Fanatics. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey. Get your Lamar Jackson jersey either in purple or in black for just $80. It was $100. Now it's $80. That's 20% off if you can do the quick math. Chatsports.com/Lamar jersey is where you need to go. Take advantage of this before this deal is gone. Free shipping on top of that as well. Again, chatsports.com/Lamar jersey. Head down there right now. It's in the comments and description of today's video. Let's talk linebackers, because Trenton Simpson, I'm going to be honest with you, guys, he looks ready. He looks ready to compete. He looks ready to win back that starting inside linebacker spot right next to Roquan Smith. And last season, this has been very well documented on this channel, 0 snaps in Week 15, 10 in Week 16 and 17 combined, and then not a single snap in either of the playoff games. He got his seat taken from him. The good thing about Trenton is he's looking at it in a positive light. He said, I know that will be the greatest thing that ever happened in my career. It definitely made me more alert to understand that this is a business. And you have to prove it every single day. I've learned so much from it. First off, what a fantastic attitude to have. If you lose your starting spot and you look at that and say, this is the best thing to happen for me, when I look at my career, this is going to be the best thing, like that is wonderful. That shows and speaks volumes on your character and who you are as a person. And this offseason, he spent his time training with Roquan Smith, trying to get back, trying to get ready, trying to be the guy that he wasn't able to at the end of the season. He looks ready to compete. And he's competing with Teddy Buchanan. If you had to pick out of those two guys, who do you think starts at the inside linebacker spot in 2025? Do you think it's Trenton Simpson, or do you think the rookie linebacker takes it from him? You let me know in the comment section down below. My fifth and final takeaway on today's show, attendance was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Bo Smolka tweeting this out, that they're only missing 2 guys. It was Emory Jones, and it was Ardarius Washington. Both of those guys were out because of injury. Other than that, Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, Nnamdi Madubuike, Kyle Van Noy, all of those guys were back on the fields, and a lot of those guys missed a lot of OTA practices. Look, this seems like it's something small. I get that. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but this is exactly what championship franchises do. They work. They come to things that are mandatory. They put in that grind. They have no drama. They just do the jobs that they're supposed to. They're all about the process, and right now that seems that is this team's attitude in 2025. Because there's holdouts all across the league. There's 2 in Miami with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. There's 2 with 2 of your biggest rivals, TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, and then one of the guys that kicked you out of the playoffs last year, James Cook. All 5 of those guys are holding out from their teams because they're in contract disputes. No holdouts from your Baltimore Ravens. Everybody in attendance, if you are not injured, that is beautiful to see going into the year. Make sure you guys got me on social media, Joey Petersen8 on Twitter, at Joey Petersen8 on Instagram, and over everything, make sure you guys are subscribed right here at the Ravens Rundown. Alrighty, make sure to get those predictions in the comment section down below. We're going to go pretty fast here on today's show, but let's go and see some of the answers so far. Okay. Oh, for the second one? Great. Good call. Thank you. Nathan with a great question. Hashtag Ravens. Who could be a comeback player in 2025? Great question, Nathan. Trent Simpson could be. A guy I just said. He really, really could be. I think that it's a great question. Nnamdi Madubuike could be as well. Nathan says 79% completion percentage, 42 touchdowns, 4,320 yards. That is a lot, and I'm here for every single bit of it. If you guys want to be like Jameer, like Nathan, like Christian, like Papa, like Kyler, go ahead and ask me those questions, but get in the comment section down below. Use hashtag Ravens in the chat, or if you want to guarantee a spot, you can super chat any dollar amount, $1, $2, $3, does not have to be anything crazy. If you do that, you guarantee a spot on the episode. You guarantee your name, your face, your picture right here on screen, right next to me. So if you guys would be so kind, donate to the channel, ask a question, and super chat. All right, coming up, I'm going to discuss the latest on Mark Andrews trade rumors because it seems like some might be resurfacing. We hit them heavy during draft time. The draft came and went. Nothing happened, so we died down a little bit. Well, on NFL.com, they're seeming like they might be back. Make sure you guys are sticking around. That's coming at you right now. Jack, are you ready to roll? All righty, let's do it. Coming at you right now. They are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Mark Andrews trade rumors. They were here heavy during the draft. Then they went away a little bit during, after when nothing happened, no trades happened. But they're back. NFL.com, some of their analysts talked about a Mark Andrews trade. I'm going to break down what they had to say, where they had him going. But before that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We do this thing daily. We only talk Baltimore Ravens. It is the perfect place to be if you bleed black and purple. And helps us win this sub-battle we've been having all June long. Currently down against the Browns Report and Steelers Talk. I need y'all's help. Help us climb back against our rivals and be at the top of the AFC North. Alrighty, today's show, we got some new trade rumors on tight end Mark Andrews. Like I said off the top, they were heavy in early April, then they died down after the draft. Well, now they are back. Just a little quick recap on the offseason for Mark Andrews. January 19th, he had the fumble and the drop against Buffalo. Then actually the day after that, he didn't show up to locker cleanout day. Then, on February 25th, Eric DeCosta was at the Combine, gave a weird answer about Mark Andrews' future, and kind of made everybody say, is he saying goodbye? Then a month after that, it came out of a report that they're not actively shopping him, but they're open. Then on April 15th, about 9 days before the draft, Ian Rappaport was quoted in saying, Andrews' future is very much up in the air. Now, since nothing happened, Baltimore has made it very apparent that Mark Andrews is a Raven in 2025. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really good that comes from Mark Andrews sticking on this team, staying on this team. He's still a legitimate weapon. He led this team in receiving touchdowns just a year ago. He's a veteran presence and a veteran leader for this team. Both of those very great things. Also, I think nobody talks about enough how much he helps out Isaiah Likely, just his presence being on the field. That opens things up for Likely in a massive, massive way. Some cons, though, he's not getting any younger. You will have a young, dynamic tight end under him in Isaiah Likely, and he's proved to stall during the playoffs. Not just with the fumble, not just with the drop. This has been a theme throughout his entire career. He's never scored a touchdown in the playoffs. He has 2 fumbles in the playoffs. He has like 5 drops in the playoffs. And it's reared its ugly head the most this past year in January. I need you guys to make the call before we talk about the team. Should the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? If you think they should, go ahead and give me a yes in the comment section down below. And if you're not interested, go ahead and give me a no. All right, NFL.com has your latest trade rumors on Mark Andrews. There was an article that went out, and each one of their writers, each one of their insiders, listed out players and destinations they believe that they should go. They should be traded to. Well, Brooke Saracismo talked about Mark Andrews. There's been some speculation this offseason about the Ravens moving their longtime tight end. He's been a very reliable player, but this is a business after all. Andrews is a free agent in 2026, and with Baltimore needing to allocate money elsewhere, the team could save $11 million against the cap and gain future draft capital by trading him. In come the Jets. We're in the middle of a rebuild and need more pieces to help Justin Fields jumpstart the offense. New York did draft Mason Taylor in the 2nd round, but bringing in Andrews for a year to aid this unit and mentor the rookies makes sense. Now, whether you agree with her or not, whether you believe that Mark Andrews will get traded or not, I think we got to sit here and say, Brooke did make some really, really good points. This is a business after all. And trading away Mark Andrews, that's a guy that you could save $11 million from. And there's still some players on this roster that I believe that Baltimore wants to extend. Okay? Now, there's 3 of them, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, and Dafe Owe. Those 3 extensions would add to the cap, give you more cap space. But there's 4 guys, 4 extensions in Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, Travis Jones, Isaiah Likely is one of them as well. Those are 4 players where extensions take up your cap space. So if you trade Mark Andrews, getting an extra $11 million, that helps you extend all 4 of these guys who I think this team firmly believes that those guys are a part of this team's future. They could see those guys in Baltimore Ravens uniforms 6 seasons from now. And additionally, if you look at it from a Jets standpoint, I can honestly see New York being interested. Think about what they've got right now in their pass catching room. Garrett Wilson is a bona fide star. Josh Reynolds is good. Alan Lazard is fine. After him, I'm not in love with any other wide receivers. They drafted Aniyah Smith out of Georgia. I don't think he's going to be very good. And then you look in their tight end room. Mason Taylor, the rookie out of LSU. Like, he's going to be all right, but I'm not a huge Mason Taylor fan. I wasn't coming out of the draft. Then you got Jeremy Ruckert. You got Smart, Johnson, Kuntz. It's like, this isn't a ton of depth. It's not a ton of people for a quarterback like Justin Fields who needs to be surrounded with talent to succeed with. And then, speaking of pass catchers, the Steelers reportedly are eyeing an Alan Lazard trade. And so that's one of their guys that could be off of their team, off of that roster in an instant. And when you have a quarterback like Justin Fields, like I said earlier, who kind of needs to be surrounded with good talent to succeed, he's not a guy that really, makes people better around him. He kind of, people around him make him better. Let's just say that. If Lazard's gone, really all you got is Garrett Wilson and Josh Reynolds. You could use a Mark Andrews to help that team out a little bit more. So up next, stick around because I got my prediction for Andrews. What's going to happen with the trade? Where is he going to go? When's it going to happen? Stick around. I'll tell you that in just a couple of seconds. But before that, make sure that you guys are subscribed today, okay? If you want daily videos all off season long, this is the place to get them, okay? Right here on the Ravens Rundown, we do this thing every day. We're entertaining. We're informative. We give you analysis on all the latest. This is the place to be. It's 100% free to subscribe, so do it right now. So my prediction, if a trade happens, I think it happens at the deadline. I don't think they're going to trade him before that. And I'm going to give you a hypothetical on how I think this could happen. Say Andrews is having a fine season. Nothing unbelievable, but nothing horrible as well. But Isaiah Likely is looking like an all-pro. If those two things happen, and you still believe that Mark Andrews is a tradable asset, I think Baltimore could possibly start shopping him, start looking for a trade around the trade deadline. Now, as of right now, why I don't think he's going to get traded, or one of the reasons I don't think he's going to get traded, I think that Todd Monken is really, really happy where he sits with the current state of this offense, okay? He's got bukus of weapons. Lamar at quarterback, Derrick Henry at running back, Justice Hill at running back, Mark Andrews, Likely, Flowers, Bateman, Hopkins, and then that's not even adding the guys like Wester and Walker, who apparently have been wonderful through OTAs and minicamp. And so, does Todd Monken want to let one of his really good weapons go? I don't know if he does. But you could also argue and play devil's advocate and say, Joey, he has 7 other really good weapons. He could let Mark Andrews go. And at that point, I'd say, that's a pretty solid point. Additionally, the other interesting thing in this is if you don't re-sign him, because remember, he is on a contract year. If you don't re-sign him and he goes and signs somewhere else in free agency, what Baltimore gets is a 2027, I believe, compensatory draft pick. They get a compensatory draft pick, whether it's 2026 or 2027. And so you'd have to weigh whether you believe that comp pick would be higher, probably around a 4th rounder. Like, do you think you could get higher than a 4th rounder if you traded him? I don't know if you could. And so they're like, I could see them being like, why wouldn't we just keep running it with Andrews? We're going to get a comp pick for him anyway, if he signs elsewhere. Might as well just run it back with him and get that pick just for next year's draft. And it would be in 2027, by the way. I say all that to say I don't think Mark's going anywhere for a while. Again, if he does, it's going to be at the deadline. It's going to be in November. It's going to be in late October. It's not going to be anytime soon. I think they've made that abundantly clear. They love Mark. They love what he does here. Lamar Jackson loves Mark Andrews. Like, Mark Andrews is a Baltimore Raven. And that's not going to change anytime soon unless one of these teams that could possibly use a tight end, like a New York, like a Los Angeles Charger, like unless they have a bad injury sometime over the next couple of weeks, and then some team goes knocking on your door and said, okay, give us Mark Andrews. Be honest with me in the comment section down below. What's your confidence level that the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Scale it for me, 1 to 10. 10, you're saying, I'm confident it's going to happen. 1, you're saying, no chance at all. You let me know your answer. And while y'all are down there, you'll be able to find my links to my social media. You can get me on Twitter. You can get me on Instagram at JoeyPetersen8 on both of those platforms. And also, while you're down there looking for those links, you'll find a big red sub button that locks you in right here on the Ravens Rundown for daily coverage. Subscribe today. We give you daily videos all off season long. And then during the season, that's when we really have our fun. Live shows every Tuesday. We're live for every single game, all 18 of them. This is the place to be if you love the Baltimore Ravens. So do me one big favor, lock us in by subscribing. All righty, make the call. What do you guys think? Should the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? You let me know in the comment section down below. Give me a yes or give me a no. Also, make sure you guys are getting those questions in. I see Jameer with another one. I see Jacko with another one. I see the James Varmer. I'm a Louisville guy, so it's different Louisville quarterback that made me become a fan. I've been a fan since they drafted Chris Redman. Wow, that's awesome, man. Chris Redman. That is a throwback. What year was he drafted? The 2000? There we go. We should be back. It's loading up on my laptop. That reminds me of the Parks and Rec line when he's like looking up Leslie's symptoms. What do I say for this? Do you know? Should I just press cancel? I have no clue. Just popped up when it reloaded. Is it on yours? Yeah, monetization defaults. Okay. So, do I press save or cancel? Save. Cancel. Discard changes. Sorry, guys. We're having a little bit of interesting things popping up. You'll get to see producer Jack live in the flesh. Automatic. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I just refreshed. Okay, we're good. We got Robert with a great question. Does Tavius Robinson have a chance to start? And what do you think his stats will be? Great question. I need at least 2 more people, new people, to ask some questions. Okay, so that means, James, I'm looking at you. That means, let's see any new people, ability to win every game they play. So then I guess the ceiling is like a 1 or 0 loss team. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but if you're asking ceiling, that's a ceiling. This team has the ability to win every game they play. Lamar Jackson has the ability to win every game they play. Say that again? Okay, great. And the floor, I think, is... Now, I'll say floor barring injury, because if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, then, like, this team could win, like, 7 games. I would say floor with Lamar is probably 9-win season. Probably. I just don't see them... Like, that's maybe 8 wins is the floor. That's probably it. Okay. Jack, do you think we're good to go with mailbag? Yeah, that's fair. There's a little bit of network problems. We're getting that checked out, and then we're going to get going into our mailbag segment. But yeah, like I was saying, beat writers, they're great. They're great at their jobs. I love the live tweets of all like the presser answers and things like that. It helps me with our graphics. We get to use socials and things like that. Like, that's great. But I would just like a little bit more, Lamar Jackson pass completed down the sideline, Zay Flowers touchdown, TJ Tampa interception back of the end zone. But maybe they're not allowed to do that. Maybe I just don't know some things. Okay, coming for you guys right now is our Ravens rundown mailbag. Make sure you hold tight for us. And we're going to get about 10 to 12 minutes of me answering your questions right here on the show. Going to be an absolute blast. Appreciate everybody who got questions in. And, Jack, we ready to roll? Okay, let's do it. Coming at you right now. It's the best segment every single week. We got your questions, my answers on the latest Ravens rumors, news items, anything you guys want to know. You ask me right here, I answer it as best as I can. This is all coming from our Tuesday live shows. If you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and do that right now. Turn on those notifications so that whenever we go live, you've got us right here locked in, and you guys can come join us live. And also, you guys can ask these questions. Speaking of questions, I got one for you guys. Who did the Ravens play the first time you ever went to a game? And do you remember the score? You let me know in the comment section down below. I know we got some lifelong Ravens fans, so I'm excited to read these answers. Coming up first, we got Kyler Richards. Is there a possibility of still trading Mark Andrews, he asks. Yes, but Ajabo will stay, and do you want him to? Well, it's not really David Ajabo's decision. Basically, you might be asking, do you think the Ravens will cut or trade David Ajabo? I wouldn't be surprised if they did either of those things. I would not at all. I actually would probably prefer if they did it. I've seen enough from David Ajabo. I'm convinced he's not going to be everything that this team thought he was going to be when they drafted him in the second round, coming off of that awful Achilles tear. They took a risk, and it didn't pan out. So if you can get something for him a trade, do it. If you can cut him and save some money, I wouldn't be mad if they did that either. But I would be very surprised if you made the 53-man roster. Let me just tell you that. Up next from Stevie's Wonder. Should the hashtag Ravens trade for Jalen Ramsey? Great question. At the current recording of this video, he is holding out mandatory minicamp. Not really a big surprise there. I guess it's not even like a holdout if they're kind of trying to trade him as well. He's not there. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't think so. It's one of those things that if they did it, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd love the look of, they're trying to go all in. They're trying to win now. They realize that this is their Super Bowl window and that Jalen Ramsey is only going to help them do that. But also for what you'd have to give up and then also what you'd have to pay him, $21 million in 2025. Baltimore just doesn't necessarily have the funds right now. Now they can create them, but it would take a lot of work, and I just don't know if I'm all there for it. Now, signing a quarterback in free agency like a Jair Alexander, I'd be a little more interested. Make the call for me. Should the Ravens trade for Jalen Ramsey? If you think they should, go ahead, give me a yes in the comment section down below. And if you think they shouldn't, give me your answer by telling me no. Papa Shook is up next. With all our weapons, do you think we'll be run heavy, pass heavy, or somewhere in the middle? I think run heavy, just because I know they got so many insane pass catchers with Likely, Andrews, Flowers, Hopkins, Bateman. I get that. But also, the identity of a Baltimore Ravens team is to beat you in the run first. And you have the best rushing quarterback in the history of the game. And maybe a top 7 running back in the history of the game with Derrick Henry. He's kind of starting to get into that stratosphere now. And so it's going to rely on the run first and foremost. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle, balance-wise, of the number of plays that they call towards that certain thing. But you'll find more games where they pass 17 times only than they rush 17 times only, if that makes sense. Coming up next, we got Nathan McShane, who can be comeback player in 2025. This is a great question, Nathan. Thank you so much for it. I got 2 that come to mind. Trenton Simpson is one of them. He's a guy who didn't play a single snap in either of the playoff games. He got benched at the end of the year. And he's taken that in stride. He's had a really great attitude about it. He's been powering through it. But I think he can come back much stronger. Another one's Nnamdi Madubuike. He took a massive step back from 2020 2023 to 2024. And I think it's time for him to take another little step forward. I think getting better on the edge, Odafe Owe bulking up, adding Mike Green, I think that's going to help that, okay? So Nnamdi Madubuike and Trenton Simpson, those are my two answers. Jameer Castro is next. Should the Ravens be one of the top teams interested in Jair Alexander? I think they should. And at the current recording of this video, he has not been signed anywhere. If Baltimore really is serious about competing for a Super Bowl, I think they at least need to be in contact and at least need to, be serious about him. I'm not in love with this cornerback room right now, if I'm being candid with you. It's fine. But it doesn't scream to me the cornerback room of a Super Bowl winning team. I think there's a lot of holes on it. I don't think there's a ton of depth on it. Jair Alexander, I think, would be a really great piece. I know he's got injury concerns. I think that's going to lower his price a little bit. And if it's something cheap, I think Baltimore should do it. Speaking of cheap things, guess what? $15 off this Ravens purple t-shirt. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. It'll take you to the link to be able to purchase it. It was $35. Now it is only $20. These deals don't come often. They don't last long. So take advantage of it right now as quickly as you can. Chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. That link's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. You got to head there now before they're gone. Head there now before that deal is over because, again, only $20. Chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. Robert is up next, or at least that's how I think it would be. The ERT is upside down, which I don't even know how you do that. Pretty cool, though. Hashtag Ravens, do you think Tavius Robinson will start? What do you think his stats will be? I don't think he'll start. This edge rusher group is just too potent at the moment. But I do think he's going to take a massive step back. And I do think, let's look at his stats last year, because I don't know them off the top of my head. Excuse me for that. But last season, 13 tackles, 3.5 sacks. I think because of that, the ceiling is undefeated. Floor, and I'm going to take floor at floor with Lamar Jackson, because I'm not going to say floor if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, because I don't want to wish that into the atmosphere. I'm going to say the floor of this team is 8 wins. Yeah, that's what I think floor. They're going to end up somewhere in the middle. I think they're going to end up somewhere from 12 to 13 wins. But great question. Moggs, hashtag Ravens, I think our tough schedule is a blessing in disguise. How important do you think it is that we get a hot start to a season with such a challenging schedule? That's a great way to look at it. I think if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And if you are not preparing to beat the best until you get to the playoffs, that's going to end up biting you in the butt. Think about the Cowboys a couple of years ago when they lost to the Green Bay Packers. All everybody talked about that year was that schedule was cupcake. They didn't play anybody. They didn't beat anybody. And it was true. And then they played the Packers the first round of the playoffs, and they got smoked. I don't want that to happen to Baltimore this year. So I'm happy about the tough schedule. And more fun games for me. Christian Coveney, hashtag Ravens, how do you feel about Malachi Starks at safety? And do you think that will allow Kyle Hamilton to be more free on the field? So I don't think as much because of the injury to Ardarius Washington. But I'm really excited to see Malachi Starks at safety. I think he's going to be wonderful. I think he was a great first-round pick. At that point in the draft, he would have been my first-round selection. And so I think Malachi Starks is going to have a long, great career with the Baltimore Ravens. Coming up last, we got Jack Harbaugh asking a question. What's up, Pops? Which UDFA will make the Ravens roster? Great question. So Ruben Lowry had a really great couple days at mandatory minicamp. That's a name to keep an eye on. Cornerback was at Tennessee Chattanooga, UTC. Another name to keep an eye on, Chandler Martin, linebacker with Memphis. He was a tackle machine. He's an athletic freak. And there's a lot of room to be made on that linebacker depth chart. So if he comes out, he comes to play, he plays really well through some of these practices, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow chipped his way to make that roster. You predict it for me in the comments section. Which UDFA will make the Ravens roster? Let me know by getting down there and shouting him out. And while you're down there, go ahead and make sure you click on those links to my social media. At Joey Petersen 8 is where you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. All righty. Sorry, a little bit quicker through segments, guys. Jack and I are actually going to hop off here in a little bit, and we're going to get working on a video for Jair Alexander because of what Lamar Jackson had to say in his press conference. And so we're going to get out of here very shortly. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you like the video before you get out of here. Thank you for everybody who asked questions. Oh, Connor's in here. Hey, Connor. What's up, buddy? Thank you guys so much for all of you guys who asked questions, who are hanging out with me on a Tuesday in the middle of June. I know not much going on right now, but y'all are the real ones that make this thing tick. For producer Jack, I'm Joey Petersen. Y'all have a wonderful day, and God bless.